Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. We've got Raoul Pal here, another clip from Dubai 2025. Guys, the crypto market is going to expand leaps and bounds, and I don't think some of you guys are even prepared for the kinds of numbers we are about to see. Now, this is Raoul Pal. He has been a cryptocurrency advocate and investor for a very long time through several different cycles now. And this is a clip of him explaining the returns from Bitcoin that we've seen over the years. And yeah, I mean, if I were to extrapolate, I would say we are expected to see similar returns for some of the other alternative cryptocurrencies coming up. Listen to this.
And the everything code is debasement of currency. There are only two assets that matter in the entire world. One is technology, and two is crypto. And crypto dwarfs everything else. It is the greatest performing asset in all recorded history. We've never had anything like this before. So here's Bitcoin since 2012, 130% annualized. That's including 3 gigantic drawdowns. Ethereum at 113 and Solana at 142. So, and Solana obviously starts later. So the magnitude of the returns is enormous. The volatility we have to stomach to do it is the game. And it's a matter of, I've told everybody about the don't f this up thesis of how to deal with volatility, how not to lose control of your tokens, because this stuff compounds over time. Bitcoin since 2012, 27.5 million % returns. Again, nothing ever has remotely come close to this.
And this is why we are in such a good spot, even if we aren't seeing it directly in the moment. Now, Bitcoin right now did see a bit of a pump yesterday. Since I recorded yesterday morning's episode, currently now one Bitcoin, it was sitting at 93,000. We are currently sitting almost at $97,000 per coin. So, guys, we're coming out of this slump. This is the Bitcoin chart on the weekly. Let me throw that on the hourly. You guys can see that a little better here on the hourly. Take a look at that, a pump at about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday evening. We did reach a high of about 97,700. Bitcoin did retrace, and now it's coming back up, coming out of what was looking like, a triple bottom pattern here. Looks like a W bottom, and came shooting right back up through this neckline in and around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday. And now we are seeing Bitcoin continuing to move higher. So now let's zoom out, guys. And when we zoom out on that trend, you guys can see we are, we're starting. Okay, we're making our way up slowly but surely. Bitcoin still does have quite a ways to go. I mean, ultimately, that target of $109,000 is what we have to break next. And as soon as we get up past that, I think we're going to have a better idea of where Bitcoin will go next and where it will settle. For more information on what I'm doing for this particular bull run, follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Guys, this is not an easy feat, even for me, even being through 3 of these bull runs now. I'm planning very carefully where I'm going to be cashing out, where some of my targets are going to be. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the altcoins too, how altcoins are going to react vis-a-vis Bitcoin. So follow me, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I did just post a refresher over there on the Patreon for some of you guys wondering cash out workflow, what I'm doing. So check it out. It's all there. Rect Capital posting this. Bitcoin dominance has now reached 65% for the first time in years. The closer BTC dominance gets to 71%, the likelihood of a strong collapse increases to the benefit of altcoin valuation. So now is the time in the cycle where we should actually be looking at dominance a little closer. Yesterday, I brought up the dominance chart. We were talking about Bitcoin dominance up near 65, and I was eyeing 70%. He is saying 71%. I mean, anywhere in and around 70, 71%. Actually, it's about 70.71, which is very close to 71%. Ultimately, I got to say, and basically, we got to hit this level of resistance up here that we saw back in September of 2019 for Bitcoin. And also, I think more importantly, December 2020, before altcoins really made their move, shot down significantly, and we're basing back in the 40% range. And guys, don't forget how long that took, okay? It wasn't that long. So once we do get up to those levels, it'll take 140 days. How many days is that? It's like 3 months, isn't it? 140 divided by 30. Yeah, it's only like 4.5 months. So once we do hit that top 4.5 months of a bull market, and I think that's being generous. I mean, we could see this go a lot quicker. Bitcoin dominance is now embarking on what may be its final macro leg. So that is, again, something else that I'm going to be focusing on over there on the Patreon is this, this final pump to the upside. If we do see this impulsive move, where does Bitcoin land and how do we react to it? So again, guys, if you're interested in what I'm doing, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. There are still a lot of questions to be had. And I only want you guys there if you're interested. No pressure, of course. Looks like the crypto market is back up to $3 trillion, guys. We're up 2.48%. Altcoins have seen a bit of a burst here. As you guys can see, market cap is up. CMC 100 is also up by 2.7. Sentiment is still neutral in the space, so we're not feeling the euphoria yet. Altcoin season at 26 out of 100, so we're slowly making our way there. But, once we do get to that 70-71% for Bitcoin dominance, and then once we see the plunge, guys, that is when altcoin season's really going to rock and roll. Some other indicators that I wanted to bring to your attention: Satoshi era Bitcoin whale wallets linked to the Silk Road have moved $327 million after 12 years of dormancy. So something is going on when very, very old Bitcoin wallets are moving Bitcoin. Chances are they are looking to cash out. On Monday, 2 long dormant wallets first activated in January 2013, precisely a decade and 10 months ago, moved 3,421 Bitcoin valued at about $322.5 million, marking their first transaction since inception. Data compiled on May the 5th, 2025 reveals 2 separate transactions, 1 and 2 originating from these wallets. And then it lists the details there of those particular transactions. The specific transaction was identified by both BTCParser.com and Whale Alert. These blockchain parsing tools also flagged a second movement involving 1,078.99 Bitcoin. This wallet, too, was initialized in January of 2013 with the funds transferred at block height, and then gives you the block height number. So it gives us a lot of details, but we do not know. I think the biggest question is here, who is behind these wallets, or who are behind these wallets? Is it one person? Is it multiple people? Who is moving this Bitcoin? Clearly, they're aware that they still hold a large sum of Bitcoin. The other thing is, why are they, other than the date, why are they connecting this to the Silk Road? Beyond these substantial transactions, Sani, the architect behind this website, revealed that the Bitcoins in question trace back to the infamous darknet marketplace. So these Bitcoins were transacted over the Silk Road, withdrawn in 2012. So there is a connection to these particular Bitcoins, I guess, purchasing illegal goods at that particular time. Who knows, guys? This is interesting too. Eleanor Turret posting that New Hampshire becomes the first U.S. state to pass the strategic Bitcoin reserve into law, authorizing the treasurer to purchase the world's largest digital asset directly through an ETP. So yesterday we got the story that Florida was no longer interested in looking into a Bitcoin strategic reserve. However, now we've got New Hampshire literally doing the opposite. History just tilted towards sound money in the live free or die state. Moments ago, the New Hampshire governor signed HB 302 into law, creating the nation's first Bitcoin and digital asset reserve fund, a policy framework lifted directly from Satoshi Action's strategic Bitcoin reserve model bill. So the nuts and bolts, what it delivers down here, lets the treasurer buy Bitcoin, okay, and top tier digital assets. So guys, not just Bitcoin, top tier digital assets. I wonder if they mean, assets that are in the top 10, or if they just mean assets that are going to have real-world utility in the future. And so now New Hampshire can purchase cryptocurrencies like XRP, maybe a handful of others. It authorizes reserve purchases of Bitcoin or any digital asset with a market cap above $500 billion, caps holding at 5% of total state funds, so it ensures Bitcoin complements the state's broader investment strategy. It mandates robust U.S.-regulated custody. Okay, so assets must be held in state-controlled multi-sig with a qualified custodian through a U.S. exchange-traded product. So the KYC and AML protocols are in place there. Takes effect 60 days after passage, a clear runway to activate the reserve and begin stacking sats. So this is a big deal. I think this is a big deal. Just more about the Satoshi Action. Satoshi Action is a nonprofit policy organization dedicated to educating lawmakers and regulators on Bitcoin and digital asset innovation. With 6 pro-Bitcoin laws passed, more than 20 strategic Bitcoin reserve bills introduced, 220,000 plus constituent letters generated, and 12 academic papers published, 6 peer-reviewed, Satoshi Action is the nation's leading voice for practical bipartisan Bitcoin policy. And here you have it, New Hampshire now able to purchase Bitcoin, whether it's through an ETP or straight up Bitcoin. They're going to do it. And guys, it's not just Bitcoin. Other top tier digital assets are also included in the law. So thanks to Eleanor Turret for posting that. You guys probably heard about the latest XRP markets report from yesterday. I did a video on that in the morning. If you guys didn't catch that, I'll link it up here. I've got some more news with regards to that. Jungle Inc. Commenting on Brad Garlinghouse's statements with regards to sunsetting the XRP markets report. He sees this as Ripple going into defensive mode. So the hidden meaning here, according to Jungle at least, okay, Ripple is ending the quarterly report not just because it was ineffective in pushing industry transparency, but also it was used against them. Now, Brad Garlinghouse went on the record and said that the SEC used the reports against them, and this is why Ripple was sued, and Ripple, I guess, really regrets that. But, they were just trying to be good actors. They were just trying to be good players in the space, and of course, it backfired on them. Why it matters? Okay, here's why it matters. It reflects a strategic communications shift. Ripple may be gearing up for more high-level financial plays. So, for example, Jungle Inc. does say an IPO, which Brad Garlinghouse has gone on the record saying, I don't know if we necessarily need to do that in the moment. Major banking partnerships, acquisitions, where risk mitigation and message control are critical. It also hints Ripple no longer feels it must prove itself via over-disclosure. On top of that, XRP market behavior slows institutional positioning. Despite on-chain activity dropping by 30 to 40%, XRP outperformed Bitcoin and Ethereum in Q1 price performance, and it's gaining fiat pair market share up from 25% to 29%. What most will miss, institutions may be quietly reallocating towards XRP ahead of a wave of new products. So this is an interesting metric that I don't know if we're going to see through other channels, but if institutions start to see more reason to hold XRP, and I mean, okay, we know the reasons to hold it, but they're on a different page. Okay, they're like at least 5 years behind us. If they start to see real world use cases being promoted, they may decide, okay, let's move out of some Bitcoin and move more into XRP. So so to his point here, reallocating towards XRP for a next wave of products. There's also the ETFs in the future. Despite retail cooling off, the fiat pair growth suggests deeper onboarding of XRP by regulated players, not just tether-driven speculation. And then there's the Hidden Road acquisition, okay, Ripple's Trojan horse into Wall Street. Ripple buying Hidden Road for $1.25 billion seems like a huge overpay until you read between the lines. The RLUSD will be used as collateral across both crypto and TradFi instruments. The XRP ledger will be used to settle FX swaps and repo trades. Why this matters, guys? Ripple just bought direct access to prime brokerage infrastructure, something only the giants like Goldman Sachs control. So Ripple, again, another check in the column of being that one-stop shop. Prime brokerage being able to now play ball with the big players. Using RLUSD as margin opens the door for Ripple's stablecoin to become a real institutional settlement asset, especially in FX and derivatives. If RLUSD works here, it sets precedent for XRPL becoming the backend for TradFi post-trade infrastructure. So guys, all this is pointing towards why XRP is, or how XRP could become bigger than it already would have become had none of this happened, even a year ago. Trust line growth and wallet decline shows divergence. Okay, so new wallets dropped about 40%, but trust lines increased 7%. That's interesting. The takeaway here, fewer new users, but existing users are established or have established more trust relationships, which supports a thesis of institutional or advanced user engagement increasing, while casual wallet creation, likely retail, is shrinking. But you know what? I think we are going to see that retail growing again once we do see the price of XRP going up yet again. I guess I have not talked about the price of XRP, just going to look at that real quickly here. XRP within the last few hours or so did go up along with Bitcoin yesterday, but now it is trading back around $2.14 per coin. It's okay, guys. It's still 5 cents up since yesterday. Wanted to thank Jungle for that. Wrath of Kahneman also commenting, this Bitwise investment report on XRP has a clear, succinct, and relevant description of what drives XRP's value. So, we know about all these aspects that will drive hypothetical value for XRP. But Bitwise, it looks like they've distilled it down, okay? They're looking specifically at 1, transaction fees, 2, spam prevention, and 3, bridge currency and liquidity reserve for a larger ecosystem. So this, again, feeds into why the Hidden Road acquisition is so important, why all these partnerships are very important as well. This is what Bitwise is saying will drive value to the XRP cryptocurrency. Today, guys, we are trading in a spec market, and a spec market is very different than real world utility. And so again, I urge you to follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel because I'm going to be treating this market appropriately as it moves. If it does transform into real world utility, my targets are going to be higher. If we do see the spec run just continue, my targets are going to be spec based. So patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if you're interested at what price I think XRP is ultimately going to go to in the moment. Guys, we also have this. Polymarket users are predicting a 98% chance the Fed keeps rates unchanged tomorrow. So this is also part of what is going to get money flowing into the market. Once we do see interest rate cuts, we will see new M2 money supply. People will borrow cheaper money. And that generally, I mean, historically, it has flowed into risk-on assets like cryptocurrencies. And so we're not seeing it, at least not yet. But we do have news, guys, that Donald Trump has a very big announcement. Listen to this.
And we'll have maybe before we're going to, as you know, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. We're going to UAE and Qatar. And that'll be, I guess, Monday night. Some of you are coming with us. I think before then we're going to have a very, very big announcement to make, like as big as it gets, and I won't tell you on what, but it's going to, and it's very positive. I'd tell you if it was negative or positive. I can't keep that up. It is really, really positive, and that announcement will be made either Thursday or Friday or Monday before we leave, but it'll be one of the most important announcements that have been made in many years about a certain subject, very important subject. So you'll all be here.
So a really, really big announcement. Trump is teasing us, not giving us any more details. In another clip, he says it doesn't have to do with trade. This is another clip where he said it in another instance in the Oval Office. Listen to this.
That we have some very big announcement to make. It's not about trade. It's about something else, but it's going to be a truly earth-shattering and positive development for this country and for the people of this country. And that'll take place sometime within the next few days.
So, of course, the XRP community is wondering, is it about us? Is it about us? The naivety of some XRP holders who think Trump is going to announce something that will pump the XRP price. Okay, this coming from Vincent Van Code, bringing us back down to ground level. All right, okay, Trump is probably not going to announce something regarding XRP specifically, but, and I say but, he could in fact, make some kind of an announcement that will help bolster cryptocurrencies as a whole, or, maybe American cryptocurrencies in general. The probability, he says, in my opinion, is 0.0001%. If you're looking to enter before the announcement as a gamble, you're better off going with Vegas odds. If you're buying to hold, IOKBGER, I don't know what he's writing there. It's a different ball game, so that's not financial advice. Some people down here saying, like Cyflux, he's saying it's probably about taxes in the IRS or China and the US came to tariff terms, but we do know from the clip that it has nothing to do with trade talks. Marka Malat here saying, he could, if announced, no capital gains tax on US-based cryptos. That would be big. Vincent Van Code saying, indeed, it would be, but I mean specifically XRP. So who knows? Maybe it does have to do with no capital gains tax on maybe even just American equities, cryptos, whatever, just as a broad general blanket rule. This would, in fact, pump the price of XRP, even if it isn't directly related to XRP. But again, guys, that's just my opinion. And for more opinions on where I think this market's going to go, again, follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. If you want to find another way to support the channel, guys, I've just upgraded the Working Money Channel merch store, created some brand new logos here, some old ones coming back, but some new merchandise. Bearable Guy, XRPX, mugs, hats, even things for your pets. So guys, link is in the description of the video, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.